Good morning, my dear students. Good morning, one and all. Welcome to the fifth and final lecture of the course. The topic name is Setup, Configure, and Host Websites and Develop and Optimize Amazon S3. First, we need to talk about the concept of Amazon S3 hosting for static websites. Just to check it out, what's required to make your static website secure and hosted on Amazon Web Services. There are the 6 steps we need to concentrate. Getting our custom domain started, create an SSL certificate, configure S3 buckets, create a CloudFront distribution, update your domain zone settings, and finished level. Your static website is hosted on AWS. Here's how we will set up your secure S3 static website on AWS. Let's take a look at each step in detail. The first step will be on getting your website up and running. Set permissions, enable static website hosting, and configure an index document when you make a bucket a static website. Static website hosting can be enabled through Amazon S3, REST APIs, AWS SDKs, and AWS CLI or AWS CloudFormation. You can use the S3 console like this. In order to host websites, static websites, you just log into the AWS Management Console and open the AWS like Amazon S3 console. You will have to pick the bucket you want to enable static website hosting for in the bucket list. Go to the properties. You can edit your static website under static website hosting. You can host a website in this bucket. You can enable the static website hosting under the static website hosting. The index document is typically index.html, so enter it there. If you are uploading an HTML index to your S3 bucket, the index document name must match the file name exactly. You need to specify an index document when you set up a bucket. The index document is returned when you request the root domain or any of the subholders in Amazon S3. For 4 times and the class errors, enter the name of your own custom error document in error document. Your error document name must be match the file name of the HTML error document you are uploading to your S3 buckets exactly. A default HTML error document is returned if you don't specify a custom error document. In redirection routes, you can describe advanced redirection routes with the JSON. You can, for example, add a conditional route request based on specific object key names. Make sure you just click Save Changes Mode. With Amazon S3, you can host your static website. You can find the website endpoint for your bucket at the bottom of the page. And look at the endpoint under static website hosting. You will find the endpoint for your bucket on your Amazon S3 website. Use this endpoint to test your static website after you have configured its bucket. So an index document needs to be configured. What are the process we need to discuss and what are the steps? The index document, for example, index.html is what you enter and when you enable a static website hosting. As soon as you enable the static website hosting for the bucket, upload an HTML file with this index document name. The index document needs to be configured. Make a file called index.html. To make an index.html file, use the following HTML like HTML colon double slash and that code and open close and tag just using the HTML basic code and head part, body part and h1 part and a paragraph tag and body part and close the HTML tag. Second step, the index file needs to be saved locally. In the static website hosting dialog box, you need to enter the exact name like the same name for the index document. Case matters when you name your index document. You must also name your index document file like index.html instead of index.html. It means the I should be a small letter, not in a capital letter. If you enter index.html for the index document name in the static website hosting dialog box, visit your website like https://console.aws.amazon.com/s3 and sign into the AWS Management Console. You will need to choose the bucket for your static website in the buckets list. Enter your index document's exact name. For example, as I told that, small letter starting from index.html and enable your static website hosting. Go to the step 6 once you have enabled the static website hosting. It means the index document can be uploaded to your bucket by doing one of the following. In the console bucket listings, drag and drop the index file. Understand, it's a very easy format, and upload the index file by choosing upload and following the prompts. Upload other website content, it's optional mode if you are interested. Okay, the next and final process we need to understand about check your website's endpoints. You can test your website endpoint after you set up a static website hosting. What are the steps we need to understand? Choose your bucket under buckets. You can choose your properties. You can choose your bucket website endpoint at the bottom of the page. You will get a separate window for your index. It means Amazon S3 now hosts your website everything. There is a website endpoint at Amazon S3. If you have a domain like www.example.com that you want to use it for your website, you can use that. If you want to serve request for both like https www.example.com or http://example.com, you might want to use Amazon S3. So additional steps are needed here just to concentrate from the website endpoint mode. Okay, my dear students, I hope you have enjoyed the fifth and final lecture of the topic like set up, configure and host websites and develop and optimize through the Amazon S3. Thank you once again.